What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, because this game is finally out. After months of speculation, leaks, and rumors, they just decided to surprise launch it today. It is currently available for purchase for $20, but is it really worth that price? This is a classic Call of Duty, and it's great that it's coming back, but in 2020, is it really the same value? Now, there is some stuff in this that I absolutely love, and there are a couple downsides that we need to talk about. But the biggest thing to address is definitely the thing that I think the most people are curious about, which is the multiplayer. If you grew up playing Modern Warfare 2, of course the thing that kind of made the biggest impact, and was certainly the most groundbreaking 10 years ago, was the multiplayer. The ability to go online and use customized guns and blast people with your particular loadout. Well, unfortunately, in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, this has been removed. What you're getting here is the single player only. The full campaign, it's a great story, it's got some really tight combat, but none of the multiplayer is in the game. And additionally, if you have any hope of them adding it later, they're not. Activision has already released an official statement because so many fans are asking about it, and they said these words: rather than release a separate multiplayer experience as a standalone pack, Activision and Infinity Ward are looking to bring more classic map experiences to new life within the Modern Warfare universe as it continues to grow and build over time. This is kind of their way of saying that, hey, we're going to be making this stuff again at some point in future Call of Duties, but for now, all you're getting is this. And I guess I'm okay with that, mostly because Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is really sharp. This is a very tight redoing of the original game. Now, if you've never played it before, let me just say right up front, you absolutely should. I just want to say that at the start, this is seriously one of the best single-player shooter experiences you'll ever have. This is a franchise that at times kind of is exuberant and over the top and has like jets exploding and people flying out of mountaintops and stuff like that. But at the beginning, when Call of Duty really first started blowing up into the thing it is today, they really definitely respected the stories they were trying to tell. Modern Warfare 2 is heartbreaking. It's dangerous. It's beautiful. It does a lot of stuff that makes you feel like stuff is going down, including, yes, I know a lot of you are wondering this about, it has the controversial mission still included. A lot of people were very offended about the No Russian campaign mission back in the day, and yes, they fully included it. It is still here in all of its crazy glory, and if anything, it definitely is a lot more impactful because it's just so HD. The biggest thing that I know a lot of people are going to be buying this for is the fact that this is a complete graphical overhaul. They've done a lot to really upscale the original assets, smooth them out, and most importantly, everything is now in glorious 4K. That is, if your system can handle it. All of this footage you're seeing here is on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I gotta say, wall to wall, it looks pristine. It's funny the fact that this was made over a decade ago because it looks very modern. When I was growing up, me and my friends were really big into Xbox, and of course the Xbox 360, and this was one of the earliest times where I played a first-person shooter that really had plot, where clearly they wanted the writing to actually make sense, but more than that, it was just so smartly built. Every part of this, every weapon, every flashbang, every time you throw a grenade over a wall and try and blow up another 5 terrorists or something, this game, it's really good just in every single morsel of second. I like that when you're playing this game, it really just feels like the grittiest and scariest parts of human history, but you at the very center of it. It clearly treats the source material with a certain amount of gravitas. There's definitely a weight to a lot of your actions, and definitely a ton of weight put on the weaponry. The guns in Modern Warfare 2 are so freaking fun, and if anything, it's hard to tell. It seems like they redid the game itself. It seems like they decided to tinker and tune with this stuff to make it all feel a little bit quicker. Maybe it's just that there's no load times or anything. Now everything's just super liquidy smooth, but this somehow feels even more rapid. Back in the day, this was definitely considered to be one of the fastest first-person shooters ever made, but now even more so. I mean, every time I'm slamming in a new clip or trying to jump off a ledge to slam my fist into somebody or just doing a melee strike when I'm out of ammunition altogether, those times feel even more brutal and definitely in your face. The main thing that really kind of sets this apart from other first-person shooters, especially from this particular era, is the fact that this is a very long campaign. I know that some people are seeing this and going, no multiplayer, no buy, and that's a totally fair thing to say, but if you are kind of craving a single-player experience or just a good chance to go through different locations and see some beautiful vistas and then blow them up, Modern Warfare 2 is cool because it's decently long. I mean, it takes me about 10 hours every time I beat this game. And I mean, yeah, of course, that's not like a 100-hour Skyrim experience or not as long as you can put into Destiny 2, but for $20, that definitely seems like it's worth it to me. Now that we've talked a lot about the goods, there are just two tiny things I want to get into that are kind of the negatives. Just two things that are a little bit strange. The first one is that the audio doesn't quite sound right. So I decided to test this coming out of my television. I recorded some of the footage and kind of played it back. And then I also played a decent chunk of the game with headphones on, which were like Sony headphones, to see how clear it would sound. And something about the audio sounds extremely flat. I'm not sure if this is just an audio compression problem or if they're trying to use as much of the original assets as possible, but maybe it would have done some good to try and re-record this, because when I hear something really dramatic like somebody trying to scream at me to get down or something like that, it shouldn't sound like it's coming out of a Game Boy speaker. It's not a huge detriment, but it is one of those things that over and over again kind of struck me as being not quite right. The other issue I have is something that I think is going to kind of upset people, which is the fact that this is currently a console exclusive. You can only purchase and play this as of right now on the PS4. In 1 month, it will be coming to PC and the Xbox One, but that's still a full month of exclusivity. And for a remaster like this, that kind of seems odd. I mean, maybe it's just that I'm kind of a power to the players kind of person, and I know that there is a huge part of the Microsoft fan base that would love this, but why paygate this? I mean, if anything, because you're doing a surprise launch, you should have thunderclapped it. You should have tried to throw it on every platform simultaneously and said, hey, look at this cheap, cool game that you can play right freaking now. On a surface level, this might feel like it doesn't even really matter, especially if you own a PlayStation 4 already. I mean, this won't really affect you. But it does kind of underscore the fact that Activision is definitely still kind of dirty. The fact that they're willing to take a game like this in a time like this when there is a literal pandemic going on and the entire news cycle is so scary and so negative, and they decide to try and put it over here on a Sony-only system because they probably got an extra $1 million for the deal, it kind of shows that Activision, they don't really care about the fans. And even though I am having so much fun with this, it does kind of taint the enjoyment when I realize that at the end of the day, they don't really care about the COD community, they don't really care about you, they don't really even care about COD. It's just about the money. So even if you are having a blast with this, you need to be conscientious that by accepting this, you're voting with your dollar. With all that being said, it's a little bit difficult to try and rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10. Normally in my reviews, I like to try and put a big number on it, but this is a weird one because I just feel like the original is so good. This is just kind of a very slight sprucing up of a classic. It's just a very nice new stylistic interpretation of a game that already existed. If you loved a classic Call of Duty, if you're kind of craving those times where it actually mattered if you missed a shot, this game is definitely for you. But if you already have something like Doom Eternal or you're kind of broke and you don't really want to splurge, this is probably not in your vein. Don't get this game unless you're really kind of wanting that intense, fast insanity. For me personally, I'm definitely glad I bought it. In fact, I might buy another copy for some friends of mine just to make sure they play it. But I definitely know that I can take a step back and realize this is not for everybody. Well, what did you think? Have you gotten a chance to try it? Have you been watching any of the live streams or anybody playing it? It's certainly a good game. I'm curious of your thoughts about it. Tell me what you're thinking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh my gosh, I forgot how good this game is. It almost feels like a dream. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.